Tonight in CVM News at 7, elderly man fatally shot in halfway tree during attempted robbery. Opposition claims negligence in relief funds disbursement and the fate of the Accompong elections. In traditional flavors, Jamaican flavored shrimp Alfredo, while in the business report, the Thropex Investment Conference 2026. And later on in sports, Brownstown Seaview Gardens clash in Cassava Championship final. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Friday, May 15, 2026. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with news that an elderly man was shot and killed in an alleged robbery outside a Scotiabank branch on Halfway Tree Road in St. Andrew this evening. Crime scene investigators have since cordoned off a section of the busy roadway as they process the area, causing major traffic disruptions in the vicinity. And to tell us more on this developing story, we're now joined by the commanding officer for St. Andrew Central Police Division, Acting Senior Superintendent Mark Harris. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. How are you?
What details can you share with us about the circumstances surrounding this deadly shooting outside the bank?
Yes, first let me say it's a very unfortunate situation, and elderly man was on the way from the Scotiabank after transacting some business with a large sums of cash heading towards his workplace, which is Prime Trust Financial Institution along Halfway Tree Road. Yeah, it's close to the NCB Bank, across from York Pharmacy, right in the town center there. And while he was on way back with, I can tell you, $10 million worth of cash, he was attacked by two men, one on a motorcycle and the other on foot. And they attempted to rob him of the cash. He put up some resistance and he was shot. The money was not stolen, and two men escaped on motorcycles along Halfway Tree Road. We picked up some trail, and we were working on that. However, we have not yet caught up with them, but they are being pursued at this time. But I just want to say that, you know, we ask at meetings, we plead, we beg, we give out flyers to persons that when you're conducting business using large sums of cash, we recommend that you request our assistance, and we are ready to assist free of cost, no charge whatsoever. And at times, persons still, run that risk of doing their business on their own. This is one such incident which results in a deadly situation here.
Well, we did say robbery. Any indication at all, it's early days yet, that he may have been a target?
Yes, he was the target. They know that he had the money and they were trying to rob him, but he put up some resistance. And they didn't have any time because we were privy to certain information in quick time, and a lot of police were in the area, so they didn't have any time to really execute their plan effectively. So they just realized that they couldn't get the cash, so they just did something stupid and fled the area.
We did hear your appeal for persons to reach out to the police. Now, Halfway Tree is one of those busy commercial areas in the corporate area. What, if any at all, is the police doing to boost security and probably reassure members of the public, especially following this latest incident now?
I can tell you, I don't want to give out, but if I can tell you the amount of resources we have in that space today and every other day, and it is just, it was unfortunate, and I can't even tell you that there was a gap, but I just can tell you that they were lucky to pull off that, and you can see that they didn't even get to do what they want to do. They just try something, and it's stupid and it worked. But trust me, we look at certain things, and officers were very close by, and by the time they were to react, they sped away. And we tried to track them, but they did get away on those motorcycles along Halfway Tree Road. I can tell you these incidents are not frequent in that area. We have a lot of resources in there. We have QR, quick response motorcycles. We have traffic men. We have all type of motor vehicles patrol in that general area. So they just tried something and got away with it. But I can tell you, we are not expecting criminals to do that on a regular basis. My team is working on how, they manage to really come in there and get away. I can tell you that anyone try this will not get away next time.
Acting Senior Superintendent Mark Harris, Commanding Officer for St. Andrew Central, thank you so much for talking with us, sir. We will continue to monitor that developing story.
Thank you, and thank you.
To latest development on another matter, the opposition's spokesperson for social protection and social transformation is taking direct aim at the government. Dr. Angela Brown-Burke claims political interference has blocked the island's disaster relief funds while storm victims suffer. Kevin Black reports.
The opposition is calling out to the government's disaster response, labeling it as a crisis in leadership at the highest level. Speaking from her constituency office at Caribbean Palm in southwest St. Andrew, opposition spokesperson for social protection and social transformation, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke expressed shock and disappointment at the gap in spending. A recent Auditor General report points out that out of $1.4 billion collected for Hurricane Melissa relief, only $26 million have been spent.
I never would have thought that not even 2% of the funds that had been collected on behalf of the Jamaican people would have remained unspent, not with the level of devastation that is out there.
She argues that members of parliament were sidelined while defeated former politicians were instead put in charge of relief supplies on the ground.
The systems were not being allowed to function because who we saw as the face of a lot of the supplies and the donations and contributions to individuals were former members of parliament, were individuals who no longer had a position in government because they had lost an election.
Dr. Brown-Burke says the ultimate responsibility of managing hurricane relief funds falls on Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, as the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management ODPEM sits within his office.
What we require from the government is a commitment of accountability and transparency. When I speak to individuals, they tell me that they go to the parish office. When they go to the parish office tells them that they are looking at the system and they are not seeing the information that they had put inside there.
Kevin Black for CVM News.
President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, along with members of the Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew, are championing for schools to be transformed from a place of conflict into centers of character formation, excellence, discipline, and a place of learning. Now, following the ongoing disputes and fatal brawls in schools over the past few months, there's a call for an urgent collective partnership to make our nation's schools safer. Natasha Williams has that story.
Having suffered a slew of fights on school grounds in recent months, with some ending fatally, President of Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malava, says both principals and school boards must improve on policies to monitor students' behavior. He says, though the board holds firm accountability for governance, there is also a major correlation between students' literacy level and behavioral problems.
When you look at the data, schools that, for example, have a significant number of students on path, what you're finding is that the disciplinary infractions in those schools tend to be higher. And it's a major issue. And many of the students who are on path, they are coming from poor parental backgrounds in terms of the parental support.
While the JTA president urges more parents to get involved in their child's overall educational development, retired principal of Edith Dalton James High School, Ray Howell, says schools also have a duty to know their students.
Look for unusual behavior. We need to deal with it. Because a lot of our children coming to school are traumatized because of relationship at home and in the community. And as leaders, we must be caring, have compassion, concern, and make that difference. We find also that children who go to church, involved in extracurricular activities, do well.
Howell stressed that every child deserves dignity, not humiliation, regardless of their circumstances and profile. He says many children are seeking a better way of life, and through mentorship programs from social groups, members should aim to be a part of the solution in curbing school violence. However, socialization at home and in schools is underscored as a very important part of treating these flare-ups in schools.
And many of the conflicts that you're seeing, you're right, because it's a lack of emotional intelligence. Now what I mean by this is that here's a boy, somebody said something to him and he feels disrespected. He feels like he didn't get violated. And then the friends are there boosting the fight and boosting the war, and he acts out of that based on his own emotion because he does not want to look like a coward or an idiot. And in many respects, it's a lack of emotional intelligence.
In respect to disciplinary actions in school, irrespective of the media or the Ministry of Education, I am here to tell you, you need to stand your ground. It is important, it is critical, and in the long run, the students will benefit and not having to go through the courts.
The education meeting, which was held by the Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew on Thursday, surrounds the discussion on making schools safer while highlighting key strategies to combat violence in school. Following one of the most recent brawls, 4 students of St. Elizabeth Technical High School were formally charged on Thursday following a series of fights at the school last week. Natasha Williams, CVM News.
And we'll continue with the CVM News at 7 right after this.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This is Flow, Jamaica's fastest mobile network, as verified by Ookla. It's the result of a complete network rebuild, with more power backup to reduce outages and satellite backup for greater mobile stability. You can even make regular calls using Wi-Fi. Welcome to our new era of connectivity, and we're not stopping there. This is Flow, Jamaica's network.
You don't have to dig up for cash for pay toll. With a T-tag, your transaction is linked to your T-tag account. So you don't have to worry about cash. Just make sure you download the app and keep your account topped up. You can use WhatsApp or the My T-tag app. You can use this.
Save money and save time. If you don't have a tag, you will waste time. Yeah, your seatbelt buckle and you're driving safe. Use up your T-tag, drive and save.
Make smart money moves like a winner and use your T-tag every time.
Thanks for staying with us. Continuing the news now, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says a new partnership with the Republic of Korea positioned to modernize Jamaica's land titling system will also help drive economic growth and improve access to land ownership. More in this report from Kevin Black.
Approximately 40% of the country's land remain untitled. For that and other reasons, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says modernizing Jamaica's land administration system is critical to driving economic growth, improving investment and expanding access to land ownership. He was speaking at the launch of the Land Administration Capacity Enhancement Project, a partnership between Jamaica and the Republic of Korea aimed at strengthening land titling, digital mapping and geospatial services. Holness says too many Jamaicans continue to live on land without formal titles. Holness says too many Jamaicans continue to live on land without formal titles, limiting their access to financing, inheritance security and economic opportunities.
There are many Jamaicans alive today who have worked the same piece of land, some for more than 50 years, built a home on the land, farmed the land, raised family on the land, and who still cannot provide proof on paper that the land belongs to them. Through a partnership with the government of Jamaica and the Korea International Cooperation Agency, we are strengthening the institutional skills, systems, and technologies that will enable Jamaica to administer land more efficiently, more transparently, and more productively.
The Prime Minister says the project will help build a more efficient and technology-driven land management system through training, digital registration, and improved surveying capacity.
Many Jamaicans have experienced land administration as slow, opaque, and difficult to navigate. We are determined to change that. We are building a system that is faster, more accurate, more accessible, and more responsive to citizens, investors, planners, and communities.
Dr. Holness also urged Jamaicans to formally register their land, arguing that unused or untitled land continues to hold back national development and economic productivity.
By increasing the capabilities of the NLA, by training the persons who can do the survey, by integrating technology to give greater efficiency, and by looking at the systems and making sure that they are all integrated. And that will build capacity, give us more horsepower to be able to increase at scale the registration.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Residents of Eastern Hanover continue to voice frustration over long-standing infrastructure issues across the constituency, including deteriorating road conditions. Here's more from Akeem Oret.
Just days after Woodsville residents protested a bridge that collapsed in their community, they are again protesting, this time the deplorable road conditions that have overtaken their community and Eastern Hanover at large. Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, Andrea Perkis, says in addition to Woodsville, the roadways have not been rehabilitated in several years.
Leading up to Woodsville from Flint River, that is behind the Trial, going through Cold Spring to Woodsville, going over to Pondside, over to Cascade, those roads have been deplorable for many years. No patching, no type of rehabilitation at all over the past 9 to 10 years.
She notes that the Merlin Otti High School is located in the area, and the students and residents have also grown tired of the poor road conditions.
We do have Merlin Otti High School that is in Hunside, and the students, the drivers, everybody really has grown tired of the road conditions. The roads were really bad before the hurricane. Melissa came, and now we have riverbeds driving through on a daily basis. I live in the constituency. I too travel on these roads. We need urgent attention as it relates to the road conditions, not only in these areas, but across the constituency of Eastern Hanover.
The MP further explains that one of the roads in a deplorable condition serves as a link between two major towns.
We have roads in the Chester Castle division in that part of Eastern Hanover that has been deplorable for many years. From the Shettlewood main road, it's a shame. And that road connects two major towns. It connects Montego Bay and Savlamar.
As Eastern Hanover residents continue to grapple with poor road conditions, MP Perkis is calling on the government for much-needed assistance. Reporting for CVM News, I'm Akeem Art.
And opposition spokesman on transport, Mikhail Phillips, says the JUTC is projected to lose nearly $15 billion this fiscal year, surviving only on an $11 billion government bailout. He told Parliament during the sectoral debate that despite new buses entering the fleet, the company continues to struggle with poor availability, stagnant revenues, and rising costs. He says the JUTC is now on life support.
It has revenue, creating a deceptive veneer that masks the entity's true perilous financial condition. This financial toll is immense. A staggering $14.8 billion loss is projected for this financial year alone, with the entity remaining operational only through an $11 billion government grant. Madam Speaker, despite acquiring over 250 new buses, the JUTC farebox revenue, the acid test of performance, and the very lifeblood of its operation.
He further describes the JUTC as being in its, quote, most pathetic state since it was born in 1998, noting more than $100 billion in accumulated losses over the past decade. He also raised concerns about disorder in the wider transport sector, pointing to uncontrolled growth in taxi licenses without matching infrastructure. The opposition insists Jamaica needs coordinated long-term planning, not patchwork fixes, to rescue the system and restore efficiency for commuters. He questioned the nature of what the minister dubbed as improvement in the public transport sector.
Chaos of taxis performing stage carriage functions, or is it a race to the bottom where suppressed costs have sacrificed all meaningful service standards? I will leave it to Jamaica to determine whether this minister and the administration he serves have improved the transport sector or just making sweet-sounding announcements.
It's easy and creamy. Its origin is definitely not Caribbean. However, like any dish adapted by a Jamaican, watch out for a visual spectacle as homemade spices and secrets are added to give it that traditional flavor.
Kenardo Lee, who goes by the name Chef Lee, has been utilizing practical skills he mastered in home economic classes at St. Jago High School in St. Catherine, as well as the teachings from his aunt, to make a tasty shrimp Alfredo at reggae flames.
So we're going to add the shrimp right now. Now I had the onion and the shrimp, which I will saute the shrimp for a couple of minutes, maybe like 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
How reggae flames?
No, that's a garlic, right? Now a little chopped pepper, and then I add some flavor to your Alfredo, right? Okay, you can see your shrimp nice and golden.
It's now time to add the penny pasta.
This is ready within minutes.
Sure. So you don't have to wait long. Even if you're well hungry, you don't have to wait long, right? So
Can I go and eat it while it's a minute too?
exactly, you can also taste it right now. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna add some cheese to this. And this is actually an international dish, but we like it local. Alright? So locally people would say pasta, but internationally it's Alfredo. So I don't want it to stick, so I'll have this a little creamy. Alright, so I'm gonna give it a little stir. See it's all coming together. So the cheese.
Just enough for 3.
Exactly.
And then you add your parsley and yes, that's the
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little parsley now. Not too much. And then a little flake right here. And then I'll give you some seasoning.
And voila!
Okay.
Done.
Now I'm gonna add a little more milk because I don't want it to stick. Alright? Now, this is your Alfredo.
Oh.
Okay. I had that shortly.
But you could have it just like this.
Yeah.
Without adding the extra.
Yeah, but
So
you wanna get that Alfredo taste.
Yes.
And you want it to all creamy.
Yes. So you add the but you made your original. Woo! It's a lot.
You see that?
It's a lot.
Okay. There you go. Now I'll mix everything. Let me turn the fire down.
Yeah, I like this one with the triple cheese. Let me see which one you want. More Parmesan. Parmesan already.
This looks so creamy.
So good, yes.
There you go.
Yes, good to go.
Really good. Nice. You tell me about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna plate this for you guys. This is your shrimp Alfredo. Now, I'm just gonna add this finishing touch to it. Like that, I already had one already, so I'm just gonna add this one. Okay, and then I'll just give you a little more chill. Alright. There you go.
CVM News at 7 continues right after this.
You can go up to Summit.
Say yes to the new onion ring zinger from KFC. The time by KFC is
7:30.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think low, think
There's nothing like a Jamaican greeting.
Yeah, look.
Blessings.
Yo, man them.
Father Mold Wagwan! Celebrating 25 years of connection. Every call, every click, every message, and every shared moment. Digicel, powered by you, connected by us.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Download the My T-Tag app, available on Google Play Store or the App Store, and add funds to your T-Tag from anywhere you're there. Also, keep checking the LED screens at our toll plazas for periodic promo codes, which will give you bonus T-Tag credit when you enter it in the My T-Tag app. Top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Welcome back. Time now for the Business Report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today, as the build-up to the 2026 staging of Western Jamaica's premier real estate investment conference accelerates. The week-long immersive experience, scheduled for May 24 to 30, continues to magnetize local and international investors, developers, and policymakers alike towards a practical look at what it takes to invest, build, and operate in some of the island's most desired locations. With the Travelers Beach Resort on the famed 7 Mile beach of Negril, marking the exact spot from which Thropex version 5 and its founder and CEO Winthrop Wellington opened the doors of perception on the present and future of real estate development and Western Jamaica's growth potential to the world.
The concept really came up from my online community. So I have a podcast, On Deck with Throp, and I do these live streams every Sunday. And they were thinking about, I wanted to do a meetup. And so I said, instead of doing a meetup and you guys just coming to meet me, how about I give some value? And I invited a bunch of the guests that I've had on my podcast to come. And the guests happened to be realtors, bankers, basically everyone that you would need to help facilitate you to move from one country to another. And that's how we came up with the concept for the conference. The backdrop of all of this, and in many ways, is this beautiful 7 Mile white sand beach that we have here. And that in itself attracts so many people to live here, to visit here, and also to invest here. But even though that may be the reality there, we're not getting enough of the resources that we need for Negril to reach its full potential. And I would say in the last 5 to 7 years, we've had, in my experience, the most amount of eyeballs and interest in investing in Negril, not only from the private sector, but even the government.
The Thropex conceptualizer says the gathering is about giving people real access to projects, to experts, and the kind of insight that allows them to move from interest to action.
I think one of the most anticipated speakers or presentations that people are looking forward to is by the Airports Authority of Jamaica, and they are going to be making a I'm using this term kind of loosely, but almost like a breaking news situation presentation that we're all looking forward to. Also, along the same lines with NEPA, we have representatives from NEPA coming that are going to be talking about the new building ordinance for the area, and who knows how high we'll be able to go in terms of building height here in Negril. And we also are very proud to have the Real Estate Board of Jamaica be a sponsor this year, and they'll be making a presentation on the real estate market throughout the island. And then also the Negril International Airport, which is going to be built in Little London, which is about 20 minutes, I would say, from downtown Negril. And we are actually having the Airports Authority of Jamaica also do a presentation at Thropex. And so again, we're very much waiting with bated breath to get an understanding of the timeline with that.
A conference of consequence for anyone who has ever considered the region's latent potential. Wellington believes that with infrastructure, real estate, and tourism currently converging towards a new era of growth for the island, the rate of development that will be unlocked is staggering.
There are just these big gargantuan projects in our minds, especially this small sleeping village of Negril, that we are very much looking forward to. And I see a lot of the Jamaican diaspora coming back and making Negril their home to retire. And then also we'd love to put ourselves in a position as a community to really attract young people to move here, young professionals. And that is ultimately one of the biggest goals that I have, is to try to get the resources, if you will, and the amenities, if you will, that attracts that demographic. I would love to especially have more Kingstonian developers come to this side and kind of really, from their perspective, understand the potential here. And I always say, especially from an affordable housing perspective, we need more housing here for especially our hotel and hospitality workers. And I feel, selfishly, we need more of them to actually live in Negril, as opposed to 45 minutes to an hour away in Lucy or in Sablomar, or even deeper, as a matter of fact.
Across the week, attendees will be offered first-hand exposure to active and emerging developments as part of a guided real estate tour across select southwestern spaces.
So we have the Negril Real Estate Tour, and then one day, and then on the second tour day, we have the Treasure Beach Real Estate Tour. So we'll be going to St. Elizabeth to see opportunities that are there. We have everything from land to hotels to completed developments to developments that are in process. I think people are looking at Jamaica and also building in Jamaica very differently. And I think going to St. Elizabeth and going to Treasure Beach is an important aspect that really distinguishes it from this Thropex, from previous Thropexes. And you have a lot of people who have messaged me directly, who are participating in this event, who are looking forward to helping and assisting with the recovery efforts. Because on my live stream, I always remind people that yes, the hurricane is over, but there are so many tens of thousands of people who are still in recovery mode, who still don't have electricity, who still don't have water. And so that is going to be kind of the undercurrent, if you will, of Thropex this year more than anything else.
Registration for the 5th staging of the Thropex Investment Conference is now open. And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crossgill.
Sports is next with Jordan Ford.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jody Ann Quarry.
I'm me, the stylist, no scam and no style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ, real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. No charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early, but Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.